He was standing alone at gate 23, his posture stiff and unyielding, a single backpack resting at his feet. His eyes never left the window. Beyond the glass, on the tarmac, a military cargo plane had just landed, and a flag-draped coffin was being carried down its ramp. People walked past him, oblivious or pretending not to see. But he wasn't just another traveler. He was Staff Sergeant Marcus Hale, and he was here to escort someone home. Someone who didn't make it. He didn't blink as the body came into view. For a moment, his breath caught in his throat. Private First Class Aaron Miller, just 19 when the ambush happened. The kind of kid who called everyone sir and ma'am, even the ones younger than him. He'd still had hope in his voice. Marcus had promised Aaron's mother that he would bring him home if anything ever went wrong. That promise burned in his chest now. As the honor guard moved the coffin toward the airport terminal, Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out a photo Aaron, smiling awkwardly in his dress blues, his arm around Marcus at the camp's Christmas dinner. Things had been different back then. The laughter hadn't been forced. The sadness hadn't been overwhelming. Now, Marcus tightened his jaw and prepared to do the hardest thing he'd ever done. Keep a promise to a mother whose world had just shattered. He walked up to the airline counter, papers in hand. The agent glanced up, uninterested, until she saw the envelope marked Department of Defense Final Escort. Her eyes widened slightly and then steeled over. "I'm sorry, Sergeant," she said, her voice clipped. "This flight is fully booked. We'll need to reassign you to a later one." Marcus didn't move. His voice was calm, but cold. "That's not an option." She glanced at the screen, typing, checking something. "Sir, I understand this is a sensitive situation, but you can't." He cut her off, his voice rising. "This is not a situation. This is a soldier, and I'm not leaving him." With each word, the noise around them seemed to dull. The people in line stopped talking. A child at the gate looked up from his tablet. The gate agent paused, but her manager, a man with a too-tight tie and forced authority in his voice, stepped up. "You'll have to wait, Sergeant." "Policies are policies," he said, dismissive. "We can't hold a flight for." Marcus stepped forward, his jaw set. "You can and you will." But the manager stood firm. "You have no authority here." Marcus opened his mouth to reply, but then a voice came from behind. "He has more authority than you'll ever understand." Everyone turned. An older man in uniform, Colonel Adams, stepped forward. The room suddenly felt smaller. Colder, the manager paled. The colonel stopped beside Marcus, nodding to him once. "We don't leave our own behind," he said, voice strong, unwavering. "You'll clear a seat, now." The manager swallowed hard. He backed up, mumbling something incoherent. The gate agent, suddenly scrambling, typed quickly. "Seat 2A, she said, voice shaky. "We'll make sure the coffin is loaded with care." Marcus nodded, but the emotion was swelling in his throat. He whispered, "Thank you." As he walked toward the jet bridge, a small hand tugged at his sleeve. He turned. It was the same child from before, maybe 6 or 7. "My dad's a soldier too," the boy said quietly. Marcus knelt, meeting the boy's eyes. "Then he's a hero." "So's yours," the boy said, then slid back to his mother. Marcus rose, blinking rapidly, and boarded the plane. The flight was silent. People noticed the empty seat beside Marcus, but no one dared ask. When they landed, Marcus was the first to stand. The pilot stepped out of the cockpit, stopping him gently. "We'll wait," the captain said. "We'll let you go out first." The cabin doors opened, and sunlight flooded the aisle. Outside, a small group stood waiting, a woman clutching a folded flag, her eyes red but clear. Behind her, an honor guard stood at attention. Marcus descended the stairs slowly. The coffin was already there. He stood beside the grieving mother. "Mrs. Miller," he said, voice cracking, I promised I'd bring him home. I'm sorry it's like this. She reached for his hand. You kept your promise, she whispered. The honor guard moved into formation. A bugle sounded. The haunting notes of taps filled the air. Marcus stared straight ahead. His breaths were steady now. The weight of his duty had been heavy, but he'd carried it. And he'd kept his word. Sometimes heroes do their job quietly. They don't get applause. They don't wear capes. They just show up when it matters most. Marcus walked away from the tarmac, his uniform heavy with grief and pride. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing: no one fights alone. No one falls alone. No one goes home alone. He had escorted a fallen soldier, and they had tried to stop him, but they were wrong. They didn't understand. The bond of a soldier doesn't end on the battlefield. It lasts forever. There are moments in life that remind us honor isn't a rule. It's a choice. And sometimes one choice changes everything. This was one of those moments. And if you're still watching, still listening, remember this. The next time you see someone standing in silence at an airport gate, don't look away. Stand with them, because they've already stood for you.